So let's go forward. Bismillah. Can you read the rest of the hadith?
He said, "You have spoken truly." Then he said, "Inform me about Ihsan."
Ah, yes. Now we move on to Ihsan. Okay. So if we were to make a pyramid structure, the foundation of it would be either Iman or Islam. The second level would be Islam or Iman. But the top level of the cake is going to be Ihsan. And Ihsan is it translated in that thing right there? Is it translated in that? It's not translated, right? Yeah. So the meaning of Ihsan is an interesting one. We don't have to translate this Ihsan because in the hadith itself, Gabriel asked him, what is Ihsan? And the Prophet himself tells us what it is. So read the rest of the narration. What does he say?
He, the Messenger of Allah, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, answered, "It is that you should worship Allah as though you could see Him. Though you cannot see Him, yet know that He sees you."
Okay, this is heavy. You guys ready? This is really heavy, okay? I'm gonna try my best to explain this. One thing is what we do, Islam. One thing is what we believe, Iman. Ihsan is this conscious awareness of God's presence, which is altering of every way you interact with people. When you yell at your child and lose your temper, when you yell at your husband, when you yell at your wife, or when you curse somebody on the street, driving, those are behavioral things. You could be a Muslim, you could be a mu'min, and your akhlaq be horrible. Your mannerisms be horrible. The thing that changes mannerisms and behavior is a conscious awareness of God's watching of you. And I'll give an example. Imagine the day you're at work and your boss is watching that day. Hey, I'm just gonna be walking around the office a little bit. Are you gonna check your email personal? No, you're not. You're gonna be on point because you know that they're watching. Your behavior is different. The awareness of you being watched in and of itself is a behavior modifier. And so Ihsan is to act at the highest level of akhlaq. But how do you get there is the question. Shaykh, I know I want to be better. How do I get there? The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon us, he gave us two things to get there. Two things. The lowest level is to know that God is watching you. That's the lowest level. So now as I interact, it's as if my boss Roger is right there over my shoulder. It's as if my boss Roger is right there. How do I act when I know he's there? I have a completely different disposition when I know he's there. I have a completely different way of carrying myself. And this is why I said awareness of the angels is also something we have to work on. Because when you have that awareness of angels, it's like, I know I'm being watched. So, أَن تَعْبُدَ اللَّهَ كَأَنَّكَ تَرَاهُ فَإِن لَمْ تَكُنْ تَرَاهُ فَإِنَّهُ يَرَاكَ. The lowest level is called muraqabah. Here's the Arabic word, muraqabah. Muraqabah is the idea that I'm being watched, and the awareness of that I'm being watched. Now, I want to add something here. How is that going to impact my life as a believer? I believe that no matter what it is that you're doing, if that thing can be done for the sake of Allah, you can find true enjoyment in that thing. You could be on the court balling, knowing Allah is watching you. You're gonna cross somebody over like vicious. You're gonna cross them over vicious. Why? Because this sport isn't dunya. This is part of my physical health. This is part of my recreation. You're on a run, 5K. We were doing a 5K like 2 weeks ago. I'm running the 5K. Can I run a 5K and have awareness of God watching me? Of course I can. Shaykh, that's not religious. What do you mean it's not religious? Like, my life is religious because everything I do is based on a relationship with God. So if I'm in the gym working out, is there a consciousness of God watching me? Yes, because I walked in to LA Fitna, right? I walked into LA Fitna with the intention of preserving this body, which is God's gift to me. The whole reason I went was for Allah. I'm out on a date night with my wife. Can I pretend God is watching me? Yes, you can, because my whole reason for loving her, being affectionate with her, showing public affection, is because the Prophet did that and I want to show that love. Everything in life that you're doing, all of those things could be done with the conscious awareness that God is watching me, because all of it is done with the intention of pleasing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Once the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, وَفِي بُضْعَةِ أَحْدِكُمْ صَدَقَةٌ, that there is a reward in being intimate with your spouse. The Sahaba got shy and they were like, oh my God, really? How are we going to get reward? Why are you talking about this? This is cringe. And the Prophet's like, no, what do you mean? Would you get sin if you did it in the haram way? And the Sahaba were like, yeah. He's like, so you get reward if you do it in the halal way. So the idea is everything in life that you can say Bismillah before, everything in life that you get rewarded for, you should have this conscious, you're trading stock online. I don't care what it is. Whatever you're doing, you can have this conscious awareness of God being there and get the reward for it. I'm playing Legos with my son. I make the intention. I'm getting reward for that. So the lowest level of ihsan is this awareness that God is watching me in all of my interactions. Let me give you a practical example. I'm at home with wifey, I have my phone in my hand, and I'm going through WhatsApp and she's talking to me. Now we would all say that's bad character. Now imagine you realize Allah's watching me right now. Now I wonder how that would modify your behavior. Would it at all? Would it at all? Let's try a different one. Your mother's in the room with you. Your mother's in the room. She's getting older. You're an adult. You're 30, 40 years old. Your mother's in the room. She's talking to you and you're scrolling on Instagram. Now everyone in this room would say, astaghfirullah, bro, what are you doing? Agreed or no? It's not the best thing to do. Your mother's right there. She's trying to talk to you. You say, brother, she's not getting no younger. You agree? Now imagine the conscious thing that Allah is watching you in that moment. How does that affect that scrolling, that awareness, that presence with your mother now? That would deeply impact it. Forget that. If someone you respected from work walked into the living room and saw you, you'd put your phone down. If someone you respected from work walked in, you'd put your phone down because you know it's disrespectful. The idea of being watched is a behavioral mechanism modifier. That's why we put fake cameras on streets, because they slow traffic down. Literally. The presence of the camera is what modifies. So imagine we live our lives with this concept that Allah is watching me. Now when I'm sitting with my mother, who's 70 years old, and I think of God watching me, I put my phone away. The same way I would have put it away if my coworker saw me, and they'd be like, man, oh my God, it's your mom, what are you doing? Or now move it to my wife, move it to my husband, move it to my children. You're sitting there playing with your children, you're on your phone scrolling. Would you post that to Instagram? No, you wouldn't. That image of you on your phone scrolling and your kid next to you playing, would you post that? Show that you would not show that to anyone. Now imagine if you had the awareness that God is watching you. How would that impact that relationship? How would that impact that relationship? And that's why I think the Prophet was destigmatizing intimacy, to take it from this really taboo thing to this religious experience. To make it something that is religious, not some weird taboo, like we're not nuns and priests. The Prophet taught us that this is part of your religion. And not only that, it's part of your relationship with God. So he was fighting that taboo on purpose, so that this becomes something that is not outside of my religious realm. This is ibadah. Not your cultural understanding. This is actually ibadah. And so that's what he was doing. He's trying to bring you to this level of muraqabah, which is in everything that I'm doing, I have this awareness that God is watching me, because that awareness of God watching me is going to modify how I do that action. Does that make sense to everyone? Completely modify the action. Let's go to the next, no, there's more. The lowest level I said was called muraqabah. The lowest level of ihsan is called muraqabah, is where you see or know that God is watching you. The higher level of ihsan is an ta'budallah ka'annaka tarah. Now this is a little harder, but what it means is, it's not that you know you're being seen, it's as if you're constantly seeing the one that you love. See, one thing is to know that I'm being watched. The other is to have a constant, perpetual witnessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There's a slight difference there. I'm gonna give an example. We don't got too many kids in the room, so I could do it. Listen, I'm gonna give an example. So uncle, you're with me, all right? You're walking with your better half, okay? And you're just walking down Main Street in the mall. Yes. Okay. And a attractive person is walking in the opposite direction. Do you look at that person when you're with your wife? Just say no.
I'll take a fifth.
No, just say no, please.
Okay, no.
Thank you. My man said he'd take the fifth. Astaghfirullah, uncle, come on. You don't look. Why? Okay, Allah's there. Just for a moment, put that to the side. Just for a moment, okay? Why don't you look? Well, one level is to know that she's watching me. The other reason I don't look is because she's the only thing I'm ever looking at. Can I get a something? Dang. Y'all whack, man. You get it? Yo, uncle, there's a difference. One reason I don't look is because she's watching me. That's not looking because innahu yaraka. The other reason you don't look at that thing, that person, is because I'm only looking at you. I didn't see anything else. So she says, did you see anything? You say, I've only been seeing you. This hadith says, an ta'budallah ka'annaka tara. The highest levels, you worship Allah as if all you see is Allah. I didn't see the dunya, I didn't see the house, I didn't see the cars, I didn't see this, I only saw you, Ya Allah. The other way of worshiping is, I didn't look in that direction because I knew you were watching me. Now they're both good because they stop you from the bad action. But which one is better? This is what the hadith is saying. أن تعبد الله كأنك تراه فإن لم تكن تراه فإنها يراك. No, okay, whatever. I tried my best. If you guys don't get it now, I don't know what's going to happen here. Inshallah. This concept of ihsan is profound because it's what is the behavior modifier. It's what changes who we are as human beings. It's what takes, you ever go to a Muslim country and just hang your head because the akhlaq is so bad? Everyone prays salah, everyone pays zakat, everyone goes for hajj, but the morals and akhlaq, you're just like, America was better. It's because of this element is missing. And ta'budallah ka'annaka tarah fa'in lam takun tarahu fa'innahu yarak. You have to build a cognition and awareness that God is watching me. Lowest level. Higher level up is what? I'm always looking at Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I gave that rough example of walking down the street because you really understood it then. You really understood it there. It was such a focus on wifey that I don't even see nothing else. Versus an awareness of her watching me as the behavior modifier. And so take wifey out of the picture and put dunya there. What is stopping you from going into the dunya, into haram? I'm too focused on Allah. Or what's stopping me from haram is I know Allah is watching me. The outcome is the same, but the motivator is slightly different for each one. And so that's what is spoken about in this narration. أن تعبد الله كأنك تراه فإن لم تكن تراه فإنه يراك.